Okay, so this video will talk about the things I was talking about last week with the new environment assets and terrain and whatnot. First off, this might not sound very good because I'm going to have loud computer fans in here, and this setup was not really meant to record with the fans going, so you may just have to bear with it, I guess. But anyway, let's get started here. I've made some new assets, and I've got some various things here. I've got a wagon. I've got some building pieces like this wall section here, stairway, some scaffolding, and standalone scaffolding which can be moved. And these are individual pieces, so I can easily put that, over here if I wanted to, or whatever. Got some rocks, this one, and these are all the same. These are all the same. This is a batch of 8 rocks or so, just already grouped together so I can quickly place them wherever I need. The grass texture has been modified to make it lower res, maybe 64 by 64 give or take. And I modified the texture to blend in better with the environment. So performance-wise, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be recording very well. I've noticed some frame drops when running all this recording software and the game at the same time. This laptop probably wasn't meant for that, but anyway, give you a rough idea. So all these new tree here, modified tree, the posts and the fence are all one material, and so is the tree stump. So I try to be efficient, put on one material whenever possible. I try to keep performance pretty good. Running a few effects, a little bit of SSAO, a little bit of bloom, just a tiny bit. Still get a few little weird things here and there, like the bricks are kind of dark on the sides, but not really sure why. But it's never going to be perfect, but there'll have to be some compromises. But anyway, it'll do for now. And I've set it up so that you can now interact with this campfire. And these campfires will basically be like base camps. Like this area here will be one base camp. And once you take it over, you can activate it and create units. And they'll pathfind over to the spot here out of the way, and you can make as many as you want. Now, of course, in the actual game, there'll be a cost per unit, so there'll be cheap units that aren't very good, and more expensive units like these longbow characters here. Basically just so you can't spam expensive units and then just, take an army and just pick off the enemy one by one, and, you gotta actually use the environment and plan ahead a little bit. That way you have to use a little bit of strategy, make it interesting. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle the cost of unit upgrades. May have it so you upgrade the bonfire, campfire, whatever, so that you can start off with cheap units and then eventually upgrade it to where you can make better units, and then they cost a bit of gold or something like that. Whatever. But anyway, the game is designed to use the environment. Like, let's say you want to go up here with the archer, put an archer over here. Archers here, maybe one here, and that way you can use the environment to your advantage. Like these guys up here can't really be hit by anything except maybe arrows. So a ground unit would have to walk all the way over there, go all the way up the stairs, and then attack. So they'll be somewhat protected, but they are a little bit stuck. They can walk past on the stairs, but 2 at a time, but not so much up here. It's a little bit cramped. But for the most part, they have an advantage of being able to shoot while the enemy is approaching versus being down here, where they have a good range of coverage, but they're out in the open and they could still be hit. Although you could put them, behind a fence, so the enemy would have to walk around a little bit to get there. But anyway, the goal is just to make it so the environment actually plays a role in the strategy, so you plan where you want your units and how you're going to attack. So the enemy here could put archers up here, and you had to figure out how to get to them. But when you take it over, you get to put archers up there and, put people where you want for the best position. So that's the plan right now anyway. I need to upgrade the AI. They need a line of sight. Right now they can just attack pretty much anywhere. But I want it so they can't attack through walls. So I need to make it a little bit more advanced. So that's what I'll be doing next, is working on the AI upgrades and the enemy AI, and making it automated so you can put them in like a defensive stance, or some kind of attack stance or whatever. And just focusing on combat for a while so that I can get something to work with, so I can test out the environment. Also, I have some shadows on the ground from the clouds as a temporary effect, just trying it out. So the shadows are moving across the ground that way. You might not be able to see them very well, but it's a subtle effect, but I was just playing around with it. I need to do some tests with a mid-range computer to see, how demanding the game is. Make sure it's not too much. Make sure it can be played on a variety of hardware. This is a gaming laptop, not quite as good as my main PC, but it's decent, I guess. So that's about it for right now. I'm going to get back to working on the AI. So let me know if you like the graphics and the environment. Like I said, I wanted to go back to a dirt environment so I can have paths and roads and stuff like that, and not have to have everything covered in snow, which tends to look really the same. I mean, it's got snow on this, snow on that, snow down here, and you really can't see anything very well. And I just think it looks nicer having a little bit of variety. But anyway, we'll see how it does. And all the trees are left dead for a reason. If they had leaves and limbs, they'd be about this big and about that big. And by the time you get a few of these on the screen here, that's going to block half the view. And the goal is to have a top-down game where you can actually see what's going on. So you want to be able to see the units. So I'll have a maybe a camera icon down here where you can click 4 angles to adjust the camera, so if somebody gets behind a wall, you can see them. Or I might have it so they get highlighted behind a wall. I also need to fix it so they have a health bar above their head, because this selection circle really isn't working that well. I mean, if they are in grass, you really can't see if they're selected or not, and if they are behind a wall or behind a rock or something like that, you would have no idea if they were selected or not. Not that it's a huge deal or anything, but it's just a little bit easier to tell what's going on if they have something above their head, I think. So anyway, that's it for right now. Like I said, the audio is going to be terrible in this video. Even though this is a brand new microphone, I'm just trying out. The laptop fans are going crazy right now, and it's about this far away from the microphone, so it's not going to sound that great. But I may do some recordings here pretty soon, testing this mic out. I might even do some voice impressions or whatnot, so keep an eye out for those sometime soon. And the next video for gaming will be about AI upgrades, most likely. So I will see you then.